Hello everyone, my name is Melissa Bublitz, and this week we are going to be talking about effective communication. So the first question is, what purpose does effective communication serve? So effective communication will keep conflict and confusion from derailing a project by ensuring that key players are aligned on all project goals and know exactly what's expected of them. It also builds trust throughout the project team so that everyone works together better from project start to finish. A few techniques that can be used for effective communication is you can set clear expectations for what is expected from everyone and what it will look like. You can discuss the project deliverables openly with everyone so that there's no confusion on what is expected from those deliverables and what it will look like when they are turned in. And then you can have regularly scheduled status meetings to update everyone on how the project is going and where everyone's at on the project. Now, when you are looking at communicating effectively, there are definitely some do's and don'ts. So you're going to want to have a plan for what communication will look like. You're going to want to have an outline for what emails will look like, what meetings are going to look like, things like that. You're going to want to set expectations. So you're going to set expectations for what communication is going to look like. You're going to want to be clear and direct. You're not going to want to fluff out any of your emails. You're not going to want to add any unnecessary information. You're going to want to know your audience. Who are you sending communication to, and what are you trying to convey to them? And you're going to want to be supportive of your project team because things can get lost, and you can get busy, and you don't want to ignore your team or forget to compliment them or praise them on things that they did well throughout the project. Some things you're not going to want to do. You don't want to forget to listen. You want to make sure you're listening to your team and your stakeholders and whoever else you're communicating with. You don't want to ignore bad news. Bad news always needs to be addressed so that everyone is up to date and you can fix the situation. And then you don't just want to rely on electronic communication. You need to communicate in person. That way you can get across some points that you may not be able to get across through text or through an email. And finally, we're going to have the communication plan. So the purpose of a communication plan is that it identifies how important information will be communicated to stakeholders throughout the project, and it will tell you who will be receiving the information, how they will be receiving it, when they get their communication. Do they get it weekly? Do they get it twice a week? Do they get it every other week? Things like that. And then you're going to show how often they are going to receive that information. So in a communication plan, you're going to have a purpose, you're going to have stakeholder information and roles. So who's in charge of what? Who are your stakeholders? Are your stakeholders the people you're working for? Are they outside contractors? Then you're going to have methods that you're going to use for communication. So are you going to use email? Are you going to use phone calls? Are you going to use meetings? And then finally, you're going to have how often stakeholders would like information. Again, do they want it twice a week? Do they want it every other week? Do they want it once a month? Personally, I think once a month would be too little, but that's up to your stakeholders. So those are all the things you need to know about effective communication and how to set up a project plan. Thank you guys so much for watching.